And Donald Trump is selling a Bible. And, timing is really important when it comes to anything that we're talking about in politics and sports, right? If you start doing things too soon politically, it could come back to haunt you and backfire if you do it too late. And so this is Holy Week. Uh, Even I know that. And so the fact that we're already living at a time where journalism is changed forever, and the fact that he's doing it during Holy Week, like, I'm not a religious person, but I can't even believe that this would be a thing. And there are some people on the right that are calling this out that do not appreciate this. But again, what choice do people have? You have him on the right and you have Sleepy Joe on the left. And unfortunately, as much as we probably would all like to get rid of both of them and go younger, thanks for the feedback, I appreciate it. When I'm in my studio, the lighting is very good. We're just not going to get younger, at least for the next 4 years. So for the life of me, it's not even funny because the goalposts continue to move constantly and things are so fluid all the time. But is anyone going to buy the Bible? Uh, like, are there people out there that are really going to buy it? Like, did you guys buy his shoes? Like, I'm just curious. Now, there's a U.S. women's soccer player that was retweeting, reposting comments that are, at the very least, transphobic and show her either political affiliation or spiritual affiliation. And there's been a lot of backlash, including liking a post that basically indicated that Megan Rapinoe and her injury is something that she was glad about. And so I'm going to talk about something in a minute with regards to Caitlin Clark. And I'm going to relate something to the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So stay with me when it comes to that. And so I basically posted on Instagram that she's young, she's 20 years old, and she made a mistake. She apologized. She may not have apologized in a way that everybody would have liked, but she did apologize. She's young and immature. And I think we need to give people like that some grace. The problem that I have with any of these instances is that these types of things are going to be co-opted and weaponized by people on the right. You see, they're going to see this and say, see, teammates even don't like this. And it's going to justify and have a ripple effect. It's going to be weaponized. There's going to be microaggressions. There's going to be covert and overt things that happen that, to them, justify their beliefs. And this is wherein lies the problem. And the people that are going to run with this are not going to come back and see the apology. And if they do see the apology, they're not going to care. And they're basically going to say, well, she's just apologizing now because she got caught. But those were her true feelings. And so that is a huge problem politically. Now, what type of backlash she's going to face with her own teammates, I think they're pretty forgiving in sports, and she's going to get probably another chance. But will it hurt sponsorships? But the most important thing is that if we did take a step backwards, are we going to take 2 steps forward? The reality is that the people on the extremes are never going to change. I'm probably not going to change, even though I love to listen and learn from different points of view, even polar opposites of mine, because if I don't, then I'm a hypocrite. And the reality also is that the other side is not going. It'd be like if you're born into a racist community and you're raised by racists, like hardcore. Can you imagine how hard it would be to get out of that cycle, like any cycle? And the same cycle with the certifiable person who's running on the right. He was fathered by someone certifiable, someone that was racist, and the cycle has continued. So, that's the problem. It's not the sponsorships necessarily. People watch United States women's soccer, mostly every 4 years, but there's a new stadium in Kansas City solely for women's soccer. Women's sports is on the rise. And whether or not you believe that trans men should be playing in sports, or whether you're a Christian or any of those types of things, really shouldn't matter. What should matter is that you find middle ground and that you seek a greater understanding and you have a level of thoughtfulness, which she should have, and maybe she does, and she's just very young and immature. But being around that culture and those spaces, as much as she has been, playing at the highest level, as a member of the United States women's soccer team, it's just unfortunate. Now, I want to transition to Caitlin Clark. Now, Caitlin Clark was offered $5 million. For those of you that don't know who Caitlin Clark is, then you must be living under a rock. She's the best women's college basketball player, arguably, along with Juju Watkins and Paige Beckers. Hannah Hidalgo might have something to say about that from Notre Dame. Anyways, she was offered $5 million to play in the Big Three, which is run by Ice Cube. My issue with this is that Ice Cube has not shown himself to be a very sensitive person. In one of the most recent situations with Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who played in the NBA in the 90s, was the Steph Curry, the Mamba, and the Colin Kaepernick before any of those guys, and was forced out of the league because he fought for social injustice. And he basically let him go after he was in the league, in the Big Three, without telling him. And he found out on social media. And so I think he's just trying to promote his Big Three, his league. So let's just talk about Caitlin Clark being offered $5 million. First of all, Caitlin Clark doesn't need Ice Cube in order to promote her brand. The game is doing just fine with the reckoning that is happening with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark doesn't need Ice Cube to promote her. Now, from a physical standpoint, it's ridiculous. Can you imagine if Caitlin Clark goes up for a shot fake and who knows, whatever, pick any one of the Big Three players. These are retired NBA players that are playing in the Big Three. Just think about if one of those players lands on her, an elbow to the neck, her trying to withstand the weight of an overweight, probably mostly out of shape, has gained 20 to 50 pounds since they played in the NBA person on their back. Like, can you imagine that? Not only could it be career threatening, she could tear an ACL, she could break her back. Like, it's literally ridiculous. So, in the same way that trans men shouldn't be playing in women's sports, in my opinion, there's no way. This isn't golf. This isn't Billie Jean King. Like, there's certain situations where Annika Sorenstam, somebody could play, in a men's sport. This is just silly. Now, the last thing with regards to Caitlin Clark, if you didn't see this, she was added to the tryout roster for the Olympic team. Now, I posted this on Instagram this morning, and I got a little bit of pushback. When something happens every 4 years, even though people don't care about the Olympics the same way that they used to, the women's game is going through a reckoning. Clark economics is real. Caitlin crazies is a real thing. Caitlin sanity is a real thing. So the WNBA already has a marketing issue. And Diana Taurasi, and this is what I said earlier when I posted this through my computer, Diana Taurasi is basically Ruth Bader Ginsburg when it comes to the Olympics. Now, Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have retired when Obama was president because he would have been able to put someone else on the Supreme Court who would have balanced things out for the next 30 years. Hillary Clinton losing the 2016 election also screwed things up for those of us that are on the left, and we've seen the ripple effect from what's happened with regards to that at the federal, state, and local levels. Doctors and nurses leaving not only hospitals, but states. Women and babies dying because of that type of decision, being made by people that are not in the medical field. But I digress. Diana Taurasi may want to continue her career in the WNBA, and that's totally fine. But the Olympics is a different ballgame. And I think if there's a choice between Diana Taurasi playing in one more Olympic versus Caitlin Clark, who's going to be the face of the WNBA, who's going to be the face of the next 4 Olympics, who's going to change the next 3 generations of boys and girls and how they play, the way Steph Curry did, the way that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird came in and changed the way that people watch the NBA, the way that Michael Jordan changed the NBA, the way that Kobe and LeBron and Steph Curry have changed the NBA. So they can't blow this opportunity. I don't care if she's better than some of the other players on the team. Caitlin Clark needs to be on the Olympic team that goes to Paris. Period, end of story. It's her legacy that's at stake. It's the Olympic legacy that's at stake. And it's women's basketball as a whole that she's going to be the face of for the next 10 to 15 years. So let me know what you think. I appreciate everyone coming in and popping in. I had another thing or two that I thought of when I was doing my computer version of this. But again, for some reason, the phone brings in more people. The other thing that I did talk about in the other version of this was Draymond Green. Now, I don't know if anyone cares. Draymond Green already cost his team an NBA title. They would have 5 if he didn't get ejected in Game 6 of the NBA Finals where LeBron came back and won from down 3-1. He continues to get thrown out of games. I think it's 4 now. This one yesterday in the first quarter. Pissed off Steph Curry. He kicks a chair. He has to lead his team again, coming back and winning the game. But it begs the question, did Draymond really get the help that he needed? You know, obviously he didn't elbow someone to the head. He didn't strangle someone to the point where he threw them down. But he got thrown out of another game. Like, is it time to retire already? Like, I don't know. Maybe time to move on. He's a great podcast host. He's very knowledgeable. One of probably him and LeBron are arguably the two of the smartest guys, like in terms of basketball IQ, that have ever played the game. He has won 4 rings, even though he should have had 5. So I'm concerned. But, you know, guys have a hard time letting go when it comes to their professional careers. Anyways, we are out here at the park with the dogs, and I appreciate you all tapping in. Let me know what you think. Comment. Would love for you to subscribe. And my TikTok shop is going to be up and running pretty soon. You can just look me up on TikTok if you're interested. It's just Hoots TikTok shop. You can follow me over there. I'd love for you to follow me over there. And would love for your feedback, thoughtful feedback, some sort of inspiration, motivation, education, transformation, a little comedic relief. And let me know what you think of this punum, of my 1% hat. That's the name of my club basketball team. We're called the 1%ers. T for the, O for 1, and P for percenters, top. We're called Top Hoops. Just trying to get 1% better, not setting any goals. Just trying to get 1% better every day. And it's completely free. I don't do anything with any of the fundraising money other than put it completely towards, for the next 5 years, my club basketball team to pay for equipment, uniforms, um, uh, referee fees, entry fees. So if you're interested in supporting my club team, my club girls varsity basketball team, I would really, truly appreciate it. Let me know. Send me an email to thesportsdeli@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to send you the information on how to do that. But it makes me sick that there are club teams out there that charge anywhere from $1,500 to $4,500 per season. And I'm working with a lot of low-income first-generation young ladies, and I have been for the last 11 years as a girls' high school varsity coach. And we had JV for the first time this year in 15 years, and I also coach college basketball for 24 years, and I'm a professional basketball skills trainer. So anyways, if you're interested, let me know. Send me an email again to thesportsdeli@gmail.com. And it's an amazing opportunity for these girls. They get 20 to 30 games between the spring, summer, and fall to play for free. All they got to do is find a ride there, and if they need transportation help, I also help with the transportation. So anyways, thanks again for tapping in. Even you trolls, even the comments that come through that they're just not funny. And even in my younger years, I just would have made comments like some of the comments that you guys make. You guys must be pretty lonely and pretty sad and have had so much trauma in your past, either as a kid or, being bullied, or, I don't know what it is that's happened to you that you feel the need to lash out when someone's talking about, sort of thoughtful things that are, I would think, sort of next level, that you might want to join in on the conversation. But like I said, whether you're on this extreme or the other, you're not going to change. But hopefully some people in the middle get educated, and I've had a lot of feedback since I started this journey when the pandemic started that have appreciated my discussions on mental health and my views on things, even though I'm not always, in agreement with people. They appreciate my approach. And again, any feedback that you have, would love to see it in the comments down below. Would love for you to subscribe. Even if you completely, wholeheartedly disagree, I think as long as we have thoughtful conversations and find some middle ground, that's the best way to move this country forward and move sports forward. Much love, guys. Appreciate y'all. Until next time, this is Hootie Hoot, host and producer of the Sports Daily Podcast. Peace.